Hello and welcome. I'm Vincent McCory. This is Africa 54. Tonight, we begin with a special warning from U.S. President Barack Obama and two congressional panels that despite waning media attention, Ebola remains a serious global threat. The president has asked the U.S. Congress for an additional $6.2 billion in emergency funding to fight the deadly disease in West Africa. VOA's Saine reports from Capitol Hill.
President Obama got an update on the Ebola crisis at the White House, where he urged the world to remain focused on the outbreak, even though the spotlight has faded.
We are nowhere near out of the woods yet in West Africa. The good news is in parts of Liberia, our efforts, both civilian and military, are really paying dividends, and we are seeing the curve bending so that we are on track with diligence, dealing with the hot spots that may still reemerge to actually get a handle on that disease.
Experts are praising U.S. leadership in fighting Ebola, but say continued vigilance is needed. On Capitol Hill, Center for Disease Control Director Thomas Frieden testified that intensive public health efforts can stop Ebola.
In Nigeria, they were able to surge and stop a cluster from spreading. Mali is now in the balance of whether it becomes the next Nigeria, having successfully contained a cluster, or the next Liberia or Sierra Leone with widespread transmission.
70% of new Ebola infections stem from contact with a deceased, making the role of burial teams crucial in containing the disease. Brett Sedgwick of the nonprofit Global Communities told another congressional panel.
The work of burial teams is both backbreaking and heartbreaking. I have accompanied burial teams to seen the incredible professionalism with which they operate.
The U.S. and the international community need to think beyond Ebola to establish basic health services in West Africa, says the vice president of the nonprofit International Medical Corps, Rabi Torbey.
People are not just dying from Ebola, they're dying from malaria, they're dying from waterborne diseases. Women are dying from the lack of facilities where they could go for safe delivery, and this needs to be done as soon as possible.
President Obama has called for Congress to quickly authorize emergency funding to fight Ebola. Cindy Saine, VOA News on Capitol Hill.
Well, be sure to stay with Voice of America because coming up in just about 2 hours at 18:30 UTC, Straight Talk Africa's Shaka Sal will host a 90-minute TV, radio, web simulcast, Ebola, Knowledge is Life, town hall special featuring top experts on Ebola. We'll also have participation from a live studio audience, so be sure to tune in at 18:30 UTC.